already in the rebuilding process of Ukraine. And I'm sure they got other nations that are doing it too. And they are probably formulating a group of nations, of chambers of commerce, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and all chambers of commerce of other countries are probably all coming together as we speak. They're on C-SPAN right now, if y'all want to go look at it. And they're discussing things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, what I want to talk about is what Pat is about to begin a joint venture in working toward accomplishing something that he's about to begin pursuing.
Okay, Coach.
I'm in it right there. I'm in it right there.
I want you to call. I want you to call back. Let us get into the show.
I'll call back.
Okay.
I'll call back, Mr. Wallace.
All right. Thank you, Coach. You know, he almost don't need no introduction because he so much is in the neighborhood. He got proven leadership on the things that he have accomplished while he was on the council. And I said while he was on the council because he's seeking another seat, you know, and we're gonna get into that. But let's get into some of his accomplishments. Number one was he got the early voting site at Martin Luther King Center. Not just getting the early voting site, he had the whole parking lot resurfaced. He brought up the parking lot so things could go right. He did a J-turn on University by the freeway. You know, he got the railroad tracks fixed on Simcoe. He got the railroad track fixed on Washington Street. He have done so many good things. You know, he got the drainage work redone because I know for a fact on Madeline and Washington Street, it always flood there. Now it rain, it don't flood no more because he made sure that he got some of his drainage project fixed. What else he done? He had a host of things. He had even a bus tour, you know, to show people that the things that he have accomplished and in neighborhoods that needed it. He's the type of person, if you call him and you don't answer your phone, he gonna call back. Once you start explaining your problem to him, if he don't understand it, he's coming to see you. So it's always expected to be either on the phone or at your front door. And with that, I want to introduce Councilman for District 1, Pat Lewis. Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for that awesome introduction. Awesome introduction. Appreciate that. Yeah, there's a lot of other things that I have accomplished in my 7 years as a city councilman. At first, when I began in 2016, it was city parish councilman, right? And it was District 3.
Yeah.
And then the next 4 years when we came into the charter, which, you know, a lot of things, you know, a lot of people understand that I wasn't part of the charter, but that's what it is. So I became city councilman, District 1. So in those particular 2 terms as a councilman, I feel that I have done, you know, quite a few things I have accomplished, and name a few of them.
Yeah.
Which I take pride of. One, the first one you said is the early voting site at Martin Luther King Recreation Center, and I like that the most is not say the most, but one of the things I take pride in big time is because it gives people opportunity to vote. Early vote, especially the time that people early vote is 7 days, correct?
Yeah.
And people had to wait in line there was only one voting site, which was at downtown on Lafayette Street. And you wanted to vote early. I remember myself staying there 2-3 hours to vote, and what happened? A lot of people leave. So I want to make sure it'd be easier for our mayor president, and who was very supportive of it as well. So, you know, the people, the community was supportive of it too. That means a lot. So it helped them, you know, especially whereas that people can walk to vote. In Lafayette Street, you don't have that many people live there, so they'd always get there by car, automobile, and parking is always a challenge there. But right here, there's a lot of people that can walk. I would say at least over about 100 more than that people can walk to the voting site. And then if they go in the car, no problem in parking.
No problem.
as soon as you get in the gym, you can go right to the area and go to a machine and vote. You don't have to wait in line and all this other stuff. You do wait in line to, like you normally do. You have people check you in, you make sure you're eligible to
Right.
be a voter. But other than that, I mean, social distance wasn't a problem.
But you have something else going on at the King Center.
Yeah, another thing I have going on is enclosing the swimming pool so that way people can use it year round.
Yeah.
That'll be another big accomplishment there. That I think the swimming pool been open at least close to 20-some years, maybe longer than that. And a lot of people do not know there's a pool there. And what's happening that we also have a young lady that's teaching swimming lesson there.
Mm-hmm.
So they can have swimming lesson year round once it's getting closed. We should start that before the year is over. But I was hoping that we could have it complete for this year, but how things work. The government moves slow.
Yeah.
There's no excuse. And another thing that I have going on, one of the oldest projects on the books, 40, close to 50 years, is the Walker Road project, the drainage. Walker Road Neighbor. And if you pass that now, it's being worked on, is almost completed.
Yeah.
Almost completed. So that's one of the things when I campaigned that Walker Road Neighbor Road project for drainage. There's a lot of things that happened on Nottingham and Acorn Drive, another drainage project that I was able to get completed. And that now those two areas there, I just inherited. When I say inherit, I just became their councilman on the Acorn and Nottingham area. That's off of Moss and Glory Switch. And I was I was able to get that done quickly. It wasn't as big as Abear and Walker Road, but people having drainage problem there, and the ones you talk about. And also there's a few others on Helen Street. There's a lot of drainage project that we were able to accomplish in my tenure as a city councilman. There's a reason why I feel I can do well as a state rep, because I know how to get the money, get things done. And it's not a learning curve for me. It's always just getting there with the experience that I have, not just because of being a city councilman, but a lot of things that I have done in my previous employment in my professional career.
Oh yes. And I've been following you ever since you became District 3 councilman, and all the other things, we had problems with the grass on the railroad track, and you went through all kind of hoops to find out who is responsible for the grass getting cut. Now, the railroad didn't care, but you start caring about the things that was going on in your community. It's like one of the things you got accomplished, that ugly underpass that was so ugly at
University.
On University.
Yeah.
You got that accomplished. Got it all painted, looking pretty. The Let's Pay Motel.
No, it's gone.
Oh yeah. Everybody wanted it to go. It's gone. Yeah. They got nice apartment buildings up there now. That's very attractive to Four Corners. What else?
No, now that you're talking about the university, I want people to know that we're getting ready to start doing a lot of work on the university corridor. We're gonna have, not we, but the people are gonna enjoy sidewalks on both sides. On the east side, on the west side and east side of the university, starting from the underpass under the railroad track, going all the way to Interstate 10. Well, let's say Hollywood Street. So you can end up be sidewalk. It should have started since March. So again, government moves slow, but we should begin probably in June at the latest. Then the street lighting, I would like to have those street lightings, the poles that the lights are on, different colors, nice color that not just the regular stainless steel color, something to beautify the university corridor. I've been having meetings since I got elected, since 2016, to do something with the university corridor. And the things I'm saying is because I like to listen to what the people say. That's why I have time on meetings. When people come out there, I tell them, it's easy to put plants. It's nothing. Let's do something. We're getting money. Let's do something that people can see and feel, and that's not an everyday thing. So they talk about sidewalk, doing some of the utility poles and all that. And I listen. So we want to make sure that what the people want, that's what's happening. It's going to be there, not what the architect tell them. And I tell them that all the time. I don't want to hear what the architect say. I want to hear what you people say, because y'all live there, and y'all will continue living there. So I want to make sure you're happy with what you see, especially when people come into Lafayette. I want them to feel that is inviting.
Right, yeah. You know, I know one thing, when they was putting that, J-turn over there, in Truman, you know, they had it so high, a big rig couldn't go on that street or go to the, businesses that it needed to go to. And somebody called you and told you, hey man, this is what's happening. You didn't say, oh well, there's nothing I could do about it. You went and seen it to make them tear it down, put it up right. You know, and that's what's good about a person that have interest in what they're doing. We got a call coming in. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Guys, just so I don't forget my thought. Hey, Pat.
Yes, sir.
Some of the things that you have on the burner, I would say right now, that you have been discussing with our council, mayor, president, will you be still in your seat to see all those projects come to pass, or will these projects be already signed, sealed, and the work going to happen, and then the work delivers the final project? But once y'all get it signed, sealed, if you are no longer the city council because you are looking forward to beginning a run for the state office, will those projects not be interrupted? Will they all come to pass? And speaking of projects, drainage is still a major factor in this community of Lafayette, the city. And that, not just in your district, in everybody's district, drainage has issues. And we talk about sidewalks, yes. We talk about lighting, yes. Let's not forget about our drainage, because a lot of people have invested in their homes and their properties, and even businesses are invested in their businesses, and moving from one place to another, and even in an emergency, all these flash floodings and stuff, we better make sure that our infrastructure is being dealt with and taken care of, because as we can see recently, Karen Crow and a few other places were hit hard, and we can't miss that. But that's what I wanted to ask you. A lot of your projects and a lot of the projects of our council, those things, once they are locked in, there is no doing the Texas two-step and people canceling them and we can't get them, because I'm seeing progress, and that's under your watch. I'm seeing progress and a lot of good things that has happened, and that momentum, no matter how fast it is, that momentum has to continue. And moving forward, I pray you get an opportunity to become that state rep, to replace Vincent, and people work for you to get you there and go register to vote and all of that. Because the bottom line is that it takes people together working in unity and harmony to get things done. And there is still a lot of work to do, because if people have forgotten, there's a new school going up on the corner of University and
Willow.
And what's the name of the road?
Willow.
There's a new school going up there in that corridor of University. So sidewalks and lighting will be very important there, because a facility, especially where children are, should have lights for the nighttime, because there will be things going on that campus at night, where it could be band, could be art, could be teacher council meetings, all sorts of stuff. You need lights need to be taken care of, and the only way you can do that is with financing, the money. MONEY. We have to invest our money in our future. Our future is the children. Is the children. And I'm going to close with this. If we don't understand that America is a free enterprise situation, and if we don't understand capitalism and how all this works, well, that's where the arguments come with our elected officials when they get together and they forget. Y'all are playing people's money, and y'all are playing invested in the future, because the children, the babies, that's their future we are all playing with. And Pat, I wish you all the best. Talk about it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Coach. What he's saying, that we're sending money to Ukraine to start rebuilding. This is not the first time. When George Bush was in office, we were sending all kind of money to rebuild Iraq and all that other old stuff, But when it comes down to taking care of the people in the United States, we never have the money. But the money is always there going somewhere else, and it don't go in $5 or $10. It goes into billions, So, like Coach was saying, he wish you well in your new position. I would have loved to see you do another 4 years to make sure that Willow Street get done from University to Ambassador Caffrey. You know what I mean?
If you're talking about University or Interstate 10, University goes run from 10.
Not University. Yeah, from University to Ambassador Caffrey, down Willow. Getting Willow, the project done on Willow. But it's not on, we got a little piece off of University on Willow that's gonna take it all the way into Ambassador Caffrey. That's what I'm talking about.
On two different projects.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But as he was saying that the sidewalks and the lighting and what have you, that's something. And he was asking if once I leave, the project already started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now the university project, that may take a few years, because again, we're talking about a lot of things. I only touched a few things that's going to happen on university.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have the widening the street or narrowing it and different things, because the sidewalk's going to be, ADA, for handicaps and what have you, for wheelchair purposes and all. So that's why it's going to take some time to do it, but the money is there.
Mm-hmm.
I want everyone to understand the funding is already there. The project it started a little bit, but it's going to be even more as time goes, because you can't do everything just at one time. And again, like he said, there's a school that's coming up there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why things sort of got backed up a little bit because of the school.
Mm-hmm.
No one knew that school was coming there
Mm-hmm.
until it came, until the school
Right.
board decided to put the school there. So they back off. Same thing backing off with the widening of Willow Street.
Mm-hmm.
The widen, the money's there for the widen. Everything is there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another project that's happening that the money was there before I got in,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to make sure the money stays there. It's North San Antonio going to be opening all the way, but the previous council before me kept the money there, and I just want to make sure it happened. Now, it's going to happen. This project is going to supposed to start in October,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it should have started since November. Since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But the money was there when I got there. The previous council had the money in there. It's been in there, so I just want to make sure it moves forward. And some things happen under someone wash while they're there. But again, the project, the Willow Street and the A-Bear and Walker Road project, that's a 50-year-old project
Mm-hmm.
that no one ever, had got it started and done. Now it's gonna be completed by the time I leave. It should be completed by, I would say, before the year's over with.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still gonna have another little section, but it has nothing to do, with the project right now, just to go underneath the railroad track. That's where the problem been happening way back when.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to give them some relief on Willow Street, on A-Bear Street, and a little bit on Walker Road. And again, the question is actually if all these projects gonna be signed and delivered and what have you. Again, as I kept the money there in the projects,
Mm-hmm.
whoever you guys elect,
Mm-hmm.
the people of District 1, whoever they elect to be their councilman, since when I leave, to make sure that council member keep everything moving like I have.
Yeah.
Now I started some projects that never was there before I came out, introduced new projects. But the old project, like the North San Antoine, there was the council members before me, and I just kept it there. But all these other projects, I'm the one who created it, put the money, the funding in there to make it happen. So now, this is what I did. Now the next council member, that whoever's elected, they need to make sure, or the constituents need to make sure that that councilman keep things going and moving. And that's how things happen. If you get a councilman that doesn't do anything, doesn't happen. But you get somebody to do something, things happen. Like the ones before me, they were doing things, keeping the money there, and I just was able, it happened under my watch. But then again, I was able to make it move. You know, so you gotta just make it move.
Yeah.
You know, negotiate and work with your colleagues and your mayor president at the time, you know.
Yeah.
So the one that we have now, the council I have, again, things happen. When we find money, look for money, you need your other council members to agree with what you're doing. I can look for them all of them and I can identify money right here and right there. But if I don't get my colleagues to agree with me and the mayor president to sign off on it, nothing goes anywhere. So people be saying, oh, Pat is so close to the mayor president, or Pat is this and that. But you cannot make anything happen unless you have a good relationship with your colleagues and your mayor president. Because the mayor president sign off on the projects. If he doesn't sign on it, nothing moves. Nothing will move. Just like you said earlier about the parking lot at MLK. At one time, the mayor and I kind of not got into a big issue, but he didn't agree on some things I wanted, and we didn't agree on it. So what happened? He held the project. He held the project. Okay, not until him and I started working things out. The next day when we talk again, the equipment was working on the MLK parking lot.
Yeah, well,
So you gotta know how to work with your colleagues and the mayor president, because they are the one who agree with you. And it did, like the enclosure of the swimming pool. I had the money. I found the money for it, but I still need to go to the council to make sure they agree with me to have the pool enclosed. Because if they say no, it won't go. It won't go. He won't sign it.
And if they want the money and not give it to you, that's what they want. But as long as you talking for it, you know, and letting them know that you're serious about what you're doing, you know, it's gonna happen.
Well, this is what you call negotiation and working with your colleagues. So we all want to work together. We all do really want to work together. But if you're not working with them, nothing gonna happen. So you gotta work with everybody that's in the same position with you. Like everywhere else, you gotta know how to work with them to get the things you need for your constituent. I don't have to get along with no one on the council. But what's gonna happen? Who's gonna suffer? My colleagues. I mean my constituents, the people that I represent. And I look on TV, oh, Pat don't take this, Pat don't, like he telling them off, he doing it. It doesn't pay, because who's gonna hurt? The people that I represent. They're gonna hurt, and I'm gonna look good on TV, but not get along with people. Not say not get along, but telling them off and saying this, and always be retaliated and all this other stuff. So I know how to work with my colleagues, and when they need something, I try to support them as much as I can.
Yes, sir.
And if I need something, we all do the same. It's not to say that he or she gonna get what they want. A lot of times we don't agree. We don't agree. But then most of the time we do agree. I say about 99% of the time we agree.
Yeah.
You don't mind if I?
Yo, come on in.
Please.
With that said, working with people. Now you're running for District 44, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, District 44. Now with the advent of the Louisiana legislative body having a super conservative majority, meaning the Republicans, you being elected, just say you being elected in District 44, you just said to work with people. How would you deal with that super conservative majority? Which I know your constituents are not from that same background. So how would you deal with that?
Well, you can look at everyone. I invite them, I encourage them to look at my background. I always been a minority working in a position, starting in banking. We were, at the time when I started, we were 12 people working in banking. I was the only black, and I don't know what their party was at that time. And everything worked pretty much. I had the most productive branch that I operated. That was the one on Marsh Street, the Guaranty Bank, the most productive branch. So I always did do things at being a minority. Then when I decided to leave banking, I went into the school board. I ran the transportation department. Again, when I decided to go in transportation, I talked to the superintendent. He said, Pat, why you want to get in transportation? I said, because If you look at it, at that time they had around close to 400 bus drivers, right? And only 80 of them were minority. I'm talking about women and black. And then when I left when it was pretty much half, because I hired up close to about 250 people in transportation, either from bus drivers or bus attendants. So again, negotiation, I know how to make things work to get things done. So even though it's a minority house and what have you, look at it now. If you look at the council, right now, we only two, right now, in the city, we only 2 minorities and 2 Democrats. And who's our mayor president? He's a Republican. And the district I represent, look what's happening in the district. It's a lot of things. In all 10 councilmen, including the parish, I have more things going on in the district that I represent. We have more things in District 1 going on because they know there was a need, and I push it. The needs are in District 1 and 5. And I push one, the caller before saying that there's a lot of drainage problem. What he said, he applauded that the drainage problem being taken care of District 1. I represent District 1. It's not that I cannot, but it'd be unruly if I go in another district and try to fix their drainage. That person was elected by their people. District 1 was elected by Pat. They elected Pat to represent them. So that's foremost who I take care of, District 1. I cannot take care of the other district unless their council member bring that to me to vote on it. So if they have any issues on their end, all they have to do is bring it to the council, like I did, bring it to the council and to the mayor president to make things happen. And that's all they have to do. The same thing. If there's a citywide drainage project that needs some attention to, especially in a particular district, they need to come in move it forward, in which I know some of them are. But it might not be as aggressive, but I know that they having issues, and their issues are being taken care of as well. And I know for a fact it should. So again, I understand when you talk about Carencro, that's totally different. Carencro, yes, they had some. Carencro has its own funding. When we talk about funding, you live in the city of Carencro, you pay city tax to Carencro, your property tax, and you also pay to the parish. Youngsville and everyone else, they all, when you're in the city, they all have their own property tax they collect funding. If you shop at the Walmart in Carencro, their money goes to Carencro. It doesn't come to Lafayette, it goes to Carencro. You shop at a Walmart in Broussard or towards Youngsville, all that funding, the sales tax goes to that city over there, not to Lafayette, okay? So we work on the funding that we have. Lafayette has its own funding. All these other cities have their own funding. So we have to work with our funding, and I don't have anybody that come for District 1 and say, oh, District 1 at the end of the year when we do our budget, which we're getting ready to start, we're gonna put $1 million or $2 million in that budget for the District 1. No. When we do the budget, that's when we start looking for money to see how we can do for your district. That'll be the same thing when I get to Baton Rouge. I'll look for money to bring to Lafayette.
Hold on,
and
Carl.
so I'll look for money to bring into Lafayette, but especially on the north side, of District 1 and 5, because I do represent District 44, which will be included in 1 and 5. And again, that's where I have the experience that anyone else that's running right now do not have that.
Okay, caller.
Yes. Hey, Pat,
Yes,
let
sir.
me talk about the same thing, but I'm going to present it differently. Supermajorities, to me, they are just how American government is built. Civics, education. We have 3 parties in our country, and we have Republicans, Democrats, and so on. But then in government, you have the executive, the judicial, and the other branch of government. And these people are sent to our government building in Washington, D.C. by their constituents in their states and in their jurisdiction or zones in those states. So who gets there and how they get there, many of us have no say so because we don't live in their state, we don't live in their zones in their state, and we can't even vote for them other than vote for like the president. But you can't send all these people to Congress because these people are not from your state. And if some are being sent, if more Republicans are being sent than Democrats, then you're gonna be outnumbered. More Republicans than Democrats. If more Democrats are being sent, you're gonna have more Democrats, and then they'll outnumber. And then they'll sometimes pass more things because they got the numbers. They got the higher percentage of numbers than the other group. But that's just the basic American government system. That's how it works. But the point is, what you're saying, Pat, is that you fail still got things done. And that's how our government, our American system works, just like that, not in all capacity, but in government. That's almost how it works. So I never like to use that as an excuse about the supermajority has that much power. They don't have that much power. They just have more people that can vote for what they want. And in America, if you got more people that voted or canceling something in our state and in our federal government system, they can do it. It's legal and it's the law because they are outvoting you. They can cancel bills. They can do all of the things that we know. But I'm going to close with this. The bottom line is we need people to run for offices that have a caring heart, that has a caring spirit. They have a caring heart for the elders. They got a caring heart for the babies. They got a caring heart for those with disabilities. They got a caring heart for our veterans and everybody else because we are all Americans. And if we put people in there that believe in what I just said, then I truly believe that even when they outnumber us, there will be some among them that will say, this is inhumane. We can't do this. We can't, even though we got more numbers to do this. This is inhumane. Go ask the Republicans right now if that's not happening within that parameter. They got Republicans right now that are telling other Republicans, we can't do this. We can't support this. They're telling their own leaders right now. And it happens in the Democrat side too. So Pat, I'm glad you come with experience. I'm going to leave her name with all of us. Her name is Nikki Howard. She sung the song, Love Under New Management. The first few words of that song goes, experience is a good teacher. And listen to the rest of Nikki Howard's song. And it will tell you about how kind of like government and things are supposed to go. You need somebody that's seasoned and that's a veteran and that's got experience because what they going to face up there, they're going to face some real soldiers in government. These people come with their knowledge. They know how to work this system. And Pat, thank you for having the experience you got because, brother, we need warriors in the houses, in Baton Rouge and in the state because if we keep sending people that don't have that experience, it's not that they're not good enough, they're going to get it, but man, we need experience because we're dealing with some of the best of the best, so we got to stand our best. Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right, thank you.
You just got a new campaign manager.
Thank you, sir. And you're absolutely correct. And I say that my professional career when I first started banking, but it even goes before that. My first 5 years, I went to a private school, which is St. Paul, now it's called Holy Family. The second year integration, I went to Lafayette Middle School. It was called Lafayette Middle at the time. Okay, elementary, that's what we call it. I wanted to go to middle school. I was going in the 6th grade. I wanted to go to a school where people of different color, right? And after the 6th grade, from there on, from the 7th grade up till going to USL, a lot of times it was only black in the class. So what I had to do to get around and get along with people, I had to learn how to get along with everyone. And anybody that went to school with me or know me, I wasn't an Uncle Tom. Was not. Far from it. But I got what I wanted. And they know I had, I'm not gonna say followers or anything. Everybody, we all got along. We all know how to make things happen. You know, and I did. And the only black in the class many times. And I still was successful.
Right.
You know, and a lot of us were successful. And I have people that work with me on my campaign, really from the 1st grade, the 3rd grade, that helped me in the 1st grade. I have good friends of mine that work with me, you know, like Barnum Disband and Sidney Castile and all of them come out and help me because they believe in me because they knew what I was doing from elementary school. And then when it comes to going to school when I was in Lafayette Middle, I have some of them call me, Pat, what can we do to help you? And I'm talking about white folks, you know? So in other words, I know I always wanted to know how to get along with everybody. That's one thing about me. No matter, you can be, no matter what, doesn't matter your color, your political party, your age, it didn't matter. If you treat people right, I'm with you. I'm with you. Now if you treat people bad, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna run away from them. I have friends that people wouldn't even want to hang around with. That's helping me now.
Yeah.
If they look at their background, they say, man, I don't want to. But no, I need everybody. I want to help everybody. If you come, I have people that even vote for me, that I help them.
Yeah.
They come to me and I help them. It doesn't matter you voted for me or not. Now I don't want that people to say here, I don't have to vote for Patty. He'll still do what I want him to do. No, it's not that. But I'm saying just how much I respect people.
Yeah.
You know, I respect people because that's just what it's all about. You know, like what the coach is saying. And I have the experience. I stayed in banking, I did all school board and being a council person.
You did audit
I retired from the school board as a tax auditor. I know about auditing. I mean, when people call me to do the audit, because I want to make sure that people, a lot of times they wasn't paying their taxes, but I want to make sure that to move forward, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
I could have closed them down.
Yeah.
And say, hey, look, you wasn't paying taxes, it's time to be closed down. We had that authority and that power to close people down and do not pay taxes. But I said, no, we're not going to close you. Now what we're going to do, we're going to move forward because it's not your fault. You probably didn't understand what you had to do. So we move forward with that, and then you start paying your taxes. But I had the authority and the power to close them down.
Yeah, but that's how the money is coming up because you know how to go to the books and find the money.
See, what they do in District 40 for the senators and the state representatives, what they do, they look for money to find money. They call it a bill. I do the same thing. We don't call it a bill, we call it an ordinance. So everything that I do, for instance, like the early voting site, okay, it's an ordinance that we put together, ordinance. I could say it's a bill, but they call it a bill, we call it ordinance. So what they do, I actually do that. I'm a legislator right now. Just that they call us a city councilman.
You're on the
lower level, but we are legislators. That's what we are. If you look anywhere, a legislator in the city of Lafayette, and you look at all 10 council members, we are legislators. You know, I don't just vote we don't just vote on the bill, but we makes the bill. Like some other other people in politics would have it. They do, they don't create bills. They just vote on issues. We make the bill. We create it. They vote on policies. I don't vote on policies. I make policies. So when something needs to be done, it's made. So you have other people that are going to be running. You just need to look and see what they do. Again, council members vote and make policies. We don't just vote on a policy. People don't bring it to us and say, hey, look, what do you lack about this? You wanted this and that. No, we find the money, we get the money, and then we make a policy or a bill out of it. That's what we do.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm so strongly supporting you because I know the experience that you have. I wasn't there holding your hand, but I know,
Well, when I started, I'm gonna jump in. When I became a council member, I didn't have a problem with the numbers and all that stuff, the budget. That wasn't my problem. The problem I had is who do I contact to get things to happen, to get it done. You're right. I didn't know who it is, the mayor I need to talk to, or is it another council member, or people that work on it. Or at the time we didn't have all these directors. It was different. So I realized, like, if I had a drainage project, who's the right person I need to talk with for drainage? So I found out who that person is. I remember when you brought the issue to me and other people around your neighborhood about the problem with the railroad track, the grass not being cut. So when I found out, I went to the railroad. I went with another gentleman that worked with me. He didn't want to get it done. So what I did, I had to find out who I can get to make it happen. So when I went to the railroad, he told me that he just get it done and we'll send us a bill.
And that was easy.
It was the easiest thing that I realized. I said, man, that's all I have to go through. But I mean, you guys were complaining about the grass and this and that, and I know it was a problem. But I didn't know the right person to talk with. Until I found out who I need to talk with. And then now it's not a problem. Not a problem.
Because they keep it manicured.
That's when people needed some speed bumps, whatever you call it, speed humps, whatever. I just need to find out the right person. So I know everything around there, who I need to get things done, who I have to contact to get it done.
Right.
And the same thing when I get to Baton Rouge.
Well, Pat,
yes,
what could be you think would be the top? I'm pretty sure you go debate the other candidates. Y'all gonna discuss some things. I'm pretty sure the people will be voting for you guys going to ask y'all or convey to you guys what's the most pressing issue for District 44. Crime, economics, medical issues, education. What, in your mind, you could anticipate from what your constituents in District 44 will be coming to you to try to help talk about in Baton Rouge?
Well, like everyone else, crime is a big issue. Like Brother Wild was talking about the guns and what have you. That's going to be a big issue. But one of the big issues we have as well that people need to be aware of is the insurance. Okay?
Yeah.
Insurance is a big issue because right now that you can't write any insurance policy that many because the insurance companies are leaving. And when, like the gentleman called Coach, he talked about the flood and all that. Again, you need to get insurance companies to write insurance policies so the homeowners or the landlords can have insurance on these properties because of flooding and all the car accident. And again, because of the drainage project we have in South Louisiana. Now you can go up in Louisiana, up north in Alexandria or as far as Shreveport. They don't have as problems because they don't have the flooding because of the hurricane. But we have a lot of storms that happens in lower Louisiana, and that's the problem. So these insurance companies are leaving. So it's hard to get these insurance companies to cover the property owners out here. So what happens? You know, if you find someone that's so high, that's why rent and house prices going up. Rent is going up so much, so that's a big problem. When you talk about insurance companies, people say, well, they have to do with me. I don't have a house. It has something to do with you. If you're renting, your rent go up because that landlord can't not get insurance at a good rate. So he has to pay more money, or her have to pay more money. So they're charging you to live in that house.
Domino effect.
Exactly. So even though you don't own the house, you need to pay attention to when you hear things about insurance. You might say, man, they don't have nothing to do with me. I don't pay insurance. I'm not. Your rent will go up. And if if you own the property and you live there, you have to pay more for your house. Everything, like you said, domino effect. So again, that'd be one of the biggest issues is about the insurance, the crime, and then job opportunities. And if you look at employment out here, you know, people working. You have a lot of people working, not the higher paying jobs, and that's what we need, higher paying jobs. Yeah. So when I get to Baton Rouge, I'll be looking for these companies to come. So the wages can go high. And people look at my background at the school board. I just tell you that when I left the school board, people were making money, were getting raises. People talk about a budget, they don't make much money. When I was running that transportation department back in the early 2000, from 2001 to 2010, the average driver was making around $70,000 a year, 3 hours a day. That's not bad if you're on your own bus. Right. And right now, as being a city councilman, look at the raises I helped get the police department, the fire department, the marshal office. You know, I'm the one who gave them the money. I led the charge to give the marshal a raise in his department, and I led the charge to get all employees a 2% raise. I led the charge with myself and the mayor president because I needed him to sign, to sign on that. So they've received raises under my being a council member, not representing just District 1, but all the employees for the city of Lafayette. I'm the one who led the charge for them to get a 2% raise and put in there every year to get a raise. And that's what I like to see done in wherever I go. If I get to Baton Rouge, when I get to Baton Rouge, I should say, I'm going to help people whatever area I can, but I'm looking at the insurance part, and I'm also looking at, I believe that Lafayette should have his own elected chief of police. So that's some things that I can make happen. I can make that bill. I can make that bill, you know, elected chief of police or a commissioner or something. I can make that happen.
Well, that's why I'm pushing and trying to make sure you get to Baton Rouge, because I know you take care of business. I seen you take care of business as District 3, and I seen you take care of business as District 1, which fixed the charter. You know, I gotta keep fix the charter up, because, you know, that hurt us. That hurt us as you as a council person, us as living in the district. You know, and
well, while you're saying that, you say that more than one time. You don't mind. I need to cut in two things. I listen to people. When people tell me things, I take a listen to them. I remember when you told me about elected chief of police, and what I told myself, man, that don't work. No. About a week later, I kept thinking about it. I said, you know, he's right. And again, I'll say that. I want to say it because you're the one who told me about the elected chief of police, and that's why I've been pushing elected chief of police when I started a committee for against Protect the City, trying to get things back. And I remember we talking about that, and I talk about the elected chief position at that time, and I always tell people that, you know, different things happen. And again, fix that charter, and I'm no shame to say it because I didn't support it. And look what happened.
Yeah.
That's why I became District 1. And to bring it back to you, Coach, The district that I represent as we speak today, right now, the district that I represent, because I didn't support the charter, right? So all this stuff was moving around to squeeze me out. Now the district I represent is a Republican district.
Yeah.
Republican district. And not only, and the majority of the people in this district is about 56% is Republican. Lower and only a few hands of Democrat. And I still ended up winning because I wasn't supposed to win.
Right.
I was not supposed to win in a Republican district. So, and I thought about not running because I was upset because what people did about the charter. And I'll say we were some black elected officials.
Yeah.
And they had a flag going around making people saying that the blacks are supporting it. I wasn't on it because I didn't support it. I didn't support the charter, right? So being that I didn't support it, what happened? They were trying to weed me out, right? I wasn't supposed to win. But because I know how to negotiate and work with people. I still ended up winning.
Yeah.
And my opponent was a white person, right?
Yeah.
And I still ended up winning because the people that know me know what I do and what I can do. And again, the area on the north side is Acorn and Nottingham. The council member they had before me, 15 years before me, didn't do anything for them. And I still ended up helping them.
Well,
And they were Republican.
I appreciate you. Always appreciate you. You understand me? We're getting ready to shut it down. You want to say anything?
No, I just appreciate you guys inviting me back again. And every time I'm available, I'm welcome. I try to welcome myself here. I always feel welcome here. Y'all make me feel good and proud again. Again, I am running for District 44, and it's not to replace Vincent Pierre that says he cannot run again.
Yeah.
He's term limit. Yeah. So yes, I want to replace him in that aspect. I'm not running against Vincent Pierre.
You're going to seek his endorsement?
I'm sorry.
I had to throw you there.
I'm sorry.
You're going to seek his endorsement?
Well, I don't like to put people on the spot, because I'm sure because I'm sure he has, he's a young man. I'm sure he has political ambitions as well. So you know how politics work. You endorse somebody, and then next time when it's time to run again, you never know how they can, but I really appreciate support. It doesn't have to be the endorsement. He can support me in other ways by telling people to vote for me, that I'm the best candidate. He can do that without endorsing, but if he wants to endorse, hey, fine, but I'm not, I understand the political arena, how it works. It's hard for another politician to endorse someone else because just like I have people want me to win, they got people want me to lose too.
Hey, Colin, we got a few minutes.
Hey, Mr. Wilder.
Yes, sir.
Hey, and how is Pat? Hey, Pat, how y'all doing too, man?
Fine.
RV.
Oh, about the what, short-term rentals?
Yeah.
Yeah, we working. Yeah, I know what we talking about. Yes, we working on the short-term rentals. Something should be coming up on the 16th. It'll be coming up at the council on May 16th at the council meeting. May 16th. It's coming up.
Right,
we doing the. I'm glad you called it. Yes, there is a problem with short-term rentals. So on the 16th of May at City Hall, they will have a meeting. We bringing up some ordinance to take care of that. For sure, we want to do the enforcement of that. I'm glad you called. I was supposed to call you back, but I will call you.
Thank you for the call.
All right, Mr. Lewis. All right, Mr. Wilder.
Yeah.
Y'all have a good day.
And I want to thank you guys for allowing us to come into your home, through your TV, to your heart, to your ears, and to your eyes. Until next Friday, 10 o'clock, we'll be signing off. Oh, don't forget, People Talking Tech Show tomorrow at 9 o'clock, KIEE 88.3. June and the show this afternoon, 1 o'clock, KIEE. And thank you, Mr. Pat, for everything.
Sure it is.